Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here with the amazing Outcast Racing League as practice coming to a close, and these drivers are ready to go. They are ready to duke it out here this evening for what's going to be another very amazing race, a very fast-paced, action-filled evening of NASCAR racing here tonight as the lights are on and the sun is down here at the Nashville Superspeedway. These NASCAR Cup drivers are ready to rock and roll. They are ready to go to battle as qualifying about to get underway. These drivers are going to hop out onto the racetrack for a couple quick laps to see where they can start their evening. As things really get started right here, it can set you up for a good day or a bad day by where you start this race. You want to be up at the front of the field trying to stay out of the way of any of the cautions or contact or anything that may unfold back there behind you. So you want to make sure that you can get a good starting position here to really set you up for a solid day at the Speedway. And it all gets started right now as drivers getting ready to hop out onto the racetrack. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to set these drivers loose. We do see Chris Muse out there on the Speedway in the 99 ride. Wayne Garland out there in that number 84. CJ Jeffries jumping out onto the racetrack. That is the JRC race cars, the Shenco Custom Diecast Williamsburg Contracting number 19 ride out there onto the Speedway. We do see Al Reed in the land N Sea NSB Elite Sim Racing, the ZZX Digital ride jumping out onto the track. Kurt Sponsler, good to see Kurt out there. New looking paint scheme here for Mr. Sponsler as well, looking very, very flashy here this evening. We like this. The Crafts and Stuff LLC number 49 looking pretty good out there. Did get up into the outside wall here on lap number 2. Currently scored as the 6th driver here on the timesheet for qualifying. Mike Killingback back out there on the racetrack. The Williamsburg Contracting Racing number 70 ride. The Lawrence Tech Machine out there on the racetrack as we do see Josh Bromfield. Good to see Bromfield back in action as the poor boy number 12 ride jumping out onto the Speedway. Al Reed going to jump into the top spot. And we do see the number 31 out there as well. Beautiful looking paint scheme here for the 31. The Quantum Motorsports Peacemaker Gaming number 31 ride of Adolfo Castillo here in this one. And we got to give a shout out here too to Adolfo as he's actually came in with the driver webcam. He's got us with a little bit of a hint up here. He made sure that we know what we're doing here this evening to try to pronounce his name. He's got the whiteboard out. He's broken it down for us. Adolfo is his first name. We called him Alfredo in the heat of the moment last week, so I know he'd want to make sure we get that right. And then obviously you see that last name there as well, which I probably get wrong 99% of the time as well, as we do apologize if we get the names wrong. We try our best. Heat in the moment. We say things very, very quickly as things happen fast out there on the racetrack. Is Johnny Thunders. Johnny coming in, showing the love here in this one. We got Johnny up in the webcams here as well. We'll take a look and see if we got this number 60 ride in attendance. There you go. Good look there at the amazing setup and state that he's surrounded by here, getting ready to go. You know, green flag racing in just a few more moments. So Johnny supporting the Quantum Motorsports t-shirt there. His Quantum Motorsports team getting ready to rock and roll here in this one. Huge shout out there to another long-haired man like myself getting ready to race and battle here this evening. As From the Back Racing over there on YouTube says, hell yeah, Peacemaker, let's go Quantum. Number 60 cheering on Mr. Thunders out there on the Speedway. Good to see it from the back, coming in showing the love here in this one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you guys know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we're going to get ready to set these drivers loose in just a few more moments. As my boy, Johnny Thunders coming in with the like and the share over on the Facebook broadcast. CJ Jeffries coming in with that share as well over there on FB as we will get these drivers ready to rumble, ready to roll here in just a couple more moments as Anne-Marie Davis coming in with the heart reaction, coming in showing the love here in this one. How are you, Anne-Marie, coming in showing the love here this evening as we'll get these drivers if they're onto the racetrack here in just a few more moments for the start of our A main feature event here from the beautiful Nashville Superspeedway. Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a very, very good time. And right now, CJ Jeffries with the quick time here in qualifying. Anthony Garland in second. Our race winner from last week, the 76 of Caleb McKinney, currently qualified in position number 3 on the speedway. Chris Muse, Casey Gross, they're rounding out our top 5 here on the speedway. Austin Smith, Al Reed, Josh Bromfield, Adolfo Castillo, they're in the number 9 spot here for the start of this racing. Cameron Combs is going to round out our top 10 here as we will get them all loaded into the sim, each and every single one of them looking for the win here in this one is my boy James Garland. James coming in, showing the love here in this one with the heart reaction. How are you, James? Hopefully you're ready for some fun here this evening out there on the racetrack as drivers are going to get loaded into the simulator down in behind our official iRacing pace car, and we'll get ready to set these drivers loose for what's going to be another amazing race, another amazing show here by these drivers as the Williamsburg Contracting, Outcast Racing League, Shenco Custom Diecast, N Sea NSB rides are going to get ready to be set loose here this evening. This is going to be a ton of fun. This is going to be a lot of fun out there on the racetrack, man. We're going to be in for another absolute treat here in this one, and we got to make sure. For some reason, I think I just realized that we don't have the N Sea NSB logo on the stream. I don't know if it's in the area there with the Williamsburg Contract. Let me double check this. Let me make sure we get that on there. We want to make sure we get all of our sponsors on here, so bear with us, chat. Bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot forget that logo on the broadcast, so we got to make sure it's in there. There it is. Boom. All right. Oh, it's a little big. Let's make that a little smaller there, and let's put it right about there. There we go. Great spot there for the N Sea NSB logo here on the broadcast. As we're going to get ready, our A main feature event is about to get underway. 150 laps of racing action here this evening for the Outcast Racing League Williamsburg Contracting Series here this evening as the pace car going to pull off of pit road, and we will get ready to set these drivers loose. It's CJ Jeffries who will lead us down to the green flag here this evening with the 81 of Anthony Garland to his outside. Then we will see the 76, the Overton 76 ride of Caleb McKinney, in the number 99 of Chris Muse will start in position number 4. Then we're going to see everybody else here. Casey Gross back there starting in the 5th position in the Quantum number 77 ride. Austin Smith to his outside. The 3 of Al Reed starting there in 7th of Josh Bromfield there to his outside in the 8th position. Adolfo Castillo will start there in position number 9 on the speedway. He's got Cameron Combs there to his outside. The 84 of Wayne Garland will start in the 11th position. He's got the 8 ride of Brantlinger there to his outside. We got Johnny Thunders right in there as well. And then we see Mike Killingbeck, Billy Jordan, James Garland, Robert Tuiscu, David Duran Jr., Dean Shaseby, and Gary Wright bringing up the rear of the field as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation. We are quickly green flag racing here from the beautiful Nashville Super Speedway. Quickly, it's the 19 right who's going to lead us down through quarter 1 and out of quarter number 2. He's going to take us down the back straightaway. And CJ Jeffries looking to open up a bit of a lead here. Is that inside lane getting a great jump and a great start, but we do see the caution flag come out here on our opening lap. So lap number 1 will be led by CJ Jeffries, and our first caution flag of the evening is going to fly. Now, I'm not sure what may have happened, who may have gotten collected in this one. Maybe Bromfield here. We do see the number 12 right getting a little sideways up there, made a little contact onto his back bumper from the 15. Nope, it's the 8 ride going for a little bit of a spill right there. It's the 8 of Lance Brantlinger. Luckily enough, able to keep this car straight, and with fairly minimal contact there, as you're going to see, I do believe that's the 49 of Kurt Spons. They're going to get into his left rear quarter panel there, spin him sideways. The 6 rider, Robert Tuwisku, is going to get in there, give him a good shot into the back bumper, a little bit of rear damage for the number 8 rider, a little bit of front end damage for that 6 machine, but nonetheless a quick caution flag, not a lot of cleanup, and drivers will get ready to go right back to battle here this evening as we'll try to stack them up, rack them up, and try this one all over again. It's my boy Eric coming in, showing the love here in this one. Says, best broadcast, brother. You're the best. You're the best, brother. Coming in, showing the love here in this one. Mr. Eric Tataru. Hopefully I'm saying it right. I'm probably getting it completely wrong. I'm going to have to let you tell me how to say that last name, because I'm going to get it completely wrong time in and time again. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the action about to get underway here in just a few more moments. The fun is just getting started on the day. It is going to be an absolute amazing afternoon of racing action. So we're going to get ready to see some wild stuff happen here this evening. CJ Jeffrey is going to be looking to try to hang on to this race lead. He's going to look to be the reflection of perfection. But this is a very, very tough racetrack, a very momentum-based racetrack as well. So if you get a little sideways or run into some issues through one of these corners down the straightaways, you're going to be losing a lot of time, and that's time you cannot lose. You cannot afford to lose any time here this evening with anything happening to your race car. You got to make sure that you keep your car nice and clean out there on the speedway, keep that momentum built up, and not lose any time out there on the speedway. CJ Jeffries leads the way here. Caleb McKinney there in second. Anthony Garland, beautiful looking paint scheme here for Anthony there in third. Casey Groves with a great start to this race. Currently has that Quantum Motorsports 77 ride up and into position number 4 on the speedway. We do see Chris Muse here in the 99 ride. We actually got a good look and a good shot here at that 99 machine on the speedways. We're going to slide this logo down just a little bit here. And what we're going to do is we're going to give you guys a good look here at Chris Muse in behind the wheel of this 99 ride as he's going to get ready for the restart, which is going to be another wild one, another one that these drivers are going to have to be right on the edge of their seats and super focused up and super ready to rock and roll here this evening. You get a good look there at the Outcast Racing League flag acting as a curtain there for him. A little bit of shade coming through there, a little bit of sunlight, but he's focused up. He's ready to rock and roll. He's got his 99 fast track ride pointed in the right direction, ready to roll here. Already down a couple spots, though, from the start of this race. He has slid back now to that 5th position, so we'll have to wait and see if Chris Muse can find a little something here on this restart. As last time around, we did see that inside lane get a really big jump, a really good jump down there, and that's what put Caleb McKinney up and into position number 2 right out of the gate, down through corner 1 and 2, but this time down through the Geico restart zone. The 19 rider, CJ Jeffries, he's able to get that big jump, that big run, and he quickly pulls away from everybody else. But here comes that 99 rider, Chris Muse. Muse trying to work himself up in through the field here. So Muse up into the 5th position, trying to move a little closer to the front of the field again, looking to get back around the 81 of Anthony Garland. Garland going to go up to that middle, the high side lane here. The 99 has the door open down low, can't quite get there, but gets a good run, trying to stay right there. Maybe a little side draft. No, does not get that side draft, and there you go. A little bit of loss of momentum right there. No side drafting, no nothing else, and there you go. He gets a little loose into corner number 1, watches up the racetrack there, and will open up the door for the 23 of Austin Smith to move right around Mr. Muse on the speedway. So all these drivers, they got to be very careful. They got to make sure they hit their marks and not make too many mistakes out there on the speedway. At least right now, it's early in this race. So if you run into issues, if you have something that happens, you can at least kind of keep on rolling, get the crew to go to work, fix the car back up, and get back out there onto the racetrack without hopefully losing a lap or multiple laps out there on the track. As right now, out in front of the field, leading the way, it's CJ Jeffries. He's absolutely hooked up here this evening, and for the first time, leading green flag laps here in this one. So we'll have to wait and see who's got that short run speed, who's got the long run speed, who can work themselves towards the front of the field. But we will see the caution flag come right back out here in this one. So the caution flag is going to fly once again. Now, I'm not sure There it is, right in front of these guys. It's Wayne Garland in the 84 running into some issues here that'll bring out caution flag number 2 on the evening. So some contact right here. The 49 of Kurt Sponsler, the 84 of Wayne Garland. They come together a couple times. A little bit of front end damage for the 49. You can see that 84 ride slide up the speedway, pancake the outside fence, and that's what will put us under the caution flag here as everyone try to roll around him as quickly as possible without getting tied up in it, without running into any issues themselves. And a good piece of driving by all these competitors, all these drivers, to be able to jump up and out of the way as we'll jump right on board with this 84 ride of Wayne Garland. As there's the contact, and luckily enough, able to get that car locked up and at least pointed back in the right direction, and very minimal damage here for this number 84 ride, as it could have been a whole lot worse if this car would have jerked head on into the outside fence. Could have been almost the end of his night here out of quarter number 2. So luckily enough, able to keep that car for the most part in one piece out there on the speedway. So we'll stack them up, we will rack them up, and we will get ready to go back to battle here in this one. These drivers will get ready to duke it out here once again on the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are tuning in and you haven't already, please make sure you guys do us a favor. It's absolutely free to do. Hit the like button on the broadcast, hit the share, hit that follow and or subscribe button if you're watching over on the YouTube broadcast, and make sure you guys check out everything that we have to offer here on Peacemaker Gaming. Hit that subscribe button if you're over on Facebook or over on Twitch. Become part of the Peacemaker Sub Club. And if you're over on YouTube, hit that join button. Take a look at all the amazing things that you can get by becoming a part of the Peacemaker members family over there on YouTube for a small cost to help all the operations running here behind the scenes for Peacemaker Gaming. It helps us out, helps us keep growing and putting more stuff into these streams to get better and better and better, and to bring you guys more and more content week after week after week. As out in front, CJ Jeffries leading the way. Looks like he will choose the outside lane here once again, so he wants to start in this outside groove and keeping Caleb McKinney down there on the inside groove there in the 76 as the Overton 76 ride there in position number 2. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that, because some of that strategy can really create a little bit of confusion for some of these drivers, and sometimes we see them kind of getting some jumps, getting some big runs, and beating the race leader back to the start-finish line, or firing before them down through the Geico restart zone. Those are mistakes you want to minimize and not have out there on the racetrack, especially if you're that 76 ride looking for another win here on the season. So you want to make sure you kind of keep yourself out of trouble and not jump in these restarts, and it can get a little bit sometimes confusing, a little bit of lack of situational awareness or anything else. You get that jump and you beat that race leader to the throttle, all of a sudden you get a pass-through penalty or something else can take you out of this race in a quick hurry. So you got to be very cautious on that and make sure you hit these restarts perfectly, especially if we have an abundance of yellow flags and see multiple caution flags coming out, and you got a bunch of restarts. It's very easy to do. As the 19 is going to try to play as many games as possible. They are firing as soon as that car hits that Geico restart zone, getting a big jump right there for CJ Jeffries over that 76 of Caleb McKinney. McKinney going to quickly slide up and clear the 81 of Anthony Garland, as Garland will hang on to position number 3. Casey Gross back there in position number 4, and here comes Austin Smith. Smith now into that 5th position as Chris Muse right there behind him in that 6th spot. Adolfo Castillo there in position number 6 on the speedway, battling here as he's going to be able to jump up and in front of Christopher Muse there. Chris Muse in the 99 ride, continuing to slide back as here comes that 15 as well. Cameron Gomes right there, ready to make some moves in that Mobile 1 number 15 ride. So Cameron Gomes, a big jump right there, a big run down on the bottom side. Now battling door to door with the Quantum Motorsports number 31 of Adolfo Castillo, as he's there in that 6th position on the speedway. Chris Muse trying to battle back with Al Reed and Josh Bromfield rounding out our top 10 here on the racetrack. Mike Killingbeck back there in position number 11 with Johnny Thunders, James Garland, Kurt Sponsler, and that 51 of David Duran Jr. bringing up our top 15. Robert Dewiscu back there in the 16th spot with Wayne Garland there in 17th. Dean Shasby, Lance Brantlinger looking to have a better run here this evening than what he did in our opening race of the season. Unfortunately, already ran into a little bit of contact, has a little bit of left side damage there on our opening lap, had contact between himself and the 49 of Kurt Sponsler. Luckily enough, nothing too major, no broken parts or anything else where you'd have to come down pit side and get extreme, repairs done to that 8 ride, but already running into issues for our last season champion as week 1 last week from the beautiful Auto Club Speedway. We saw a great race. Unfortunately for the 8 ride, he ran into a couple different issues. Unfortunately, he was a bit of a magnet out there on the speedway, and already this evening heading into one of these caution flags. Not looking very good. No luck early on for the 8 rider Lance Brantlinger here in our brand new season of the Outcast Racing League. Billy Jordan back there in the 20 spot, battling here with the 16 of Gary Wright, as Gary Wright gonna roll around the Miller Lite number 67 here this evening. And out in front, CJ Jeffries continuing to lead the way, actually starting to stretch that lead out ever so slightly. Oh, about 0.4 of a second now between himself and Caleb McKinney. As McKinney back there in second, we do see Austin Smith now up into third, so a big run early on for the 23 ride as Casey Gross back here in fourth, doing a great job up and inside the top 5. Anthony Garland down 3 spots early in this race, started on the outside of the front row, now finds himself back here in position number 5 on the speedway. Cameron Combs up 4 spots here in position number 6, and then we see Chris Muse, who's down 3 positions as well early in this race. Now Reed Bromfield and Adolfo Castillo unfortunately sliding a little farther backwards here as well. CJ Jeffries, though, out in front of the field, showing these drivers how to get it done here at Nashville Superspeedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into what's going to be another amazing race, another amazing series, and a lot of fun here on Peacemaker Gaming. You guys don't want to miss any of the action or any of the fun that we have here on the channel, as, man, it's going to be a lot of back and forth. It's going to be a lot of beating and banging and battling here. Lap after lap after lap, these guys are going to be putting on one heck of a show for us, and it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers are going to be able to handle the track changes. Right now, the track, it's got a lot of grip in it. These guys have a lot of speed, but as the tires start to fade away, they start to fall off. We start to see these longer runs, 10, 15, 16, 20 laps, 30 laps, 40 laps put onto these tires before they have to come down pit side and get some fuel, get some fresh tires, which may be a big play. Can leapfrog drivers, can try to use that pit strategy to potentially put yourself up and into the winner's circle here this evening. It'll be interesting to see how it's going to work out and how it's going to end up here for a lot of these drivers, and how their strategy calls are going to affect their performance here this evening. We do see the 13 rider James Garland early on, up 4 spots on the speedway, back here in the 13th spot. The driver right there in front of him currently right now is our hard charger. That is David Duran Jr. He is up 7 positions. Early in this race is the 51, the Valvoline Napa Auto Parts ride, up and into the 12th position. He's looking to move around the Williamsburg Contracting Lawrence Tech, number 70, Mike Killingback here for position number 11, and now David Duran Jr. up 8 spots early in this race. So David Duran Jr. trying to work himself to the front of the field here in this one, but it'll be interesting to see if he can keep on moving through. The passes are just going to get harder and harder and harder as he works himself closer and closer to the front of the field, as CJ Jeffries, we thought was going to be running away with this one, but here you go, the 76, Caleb McKinney, Casey Gross battling back as well. They're reeling in our race leader, Casey Gross, working himself back around Austin Smith. Smith back now to position number 4 here on the speedway, as Casey Gross there in third, trying to put himself in the Quantum Motorsports team into victory lane for the first time in their career here as the brand new team with the Quantum Motorsports rides, looking for their first win here this evening, as Jeffries, though, He's out in front. He had a great run going last week. We thought for certain we were going to see one of these Williamsburg Contracting Shenco custom diecast rides find their way into victory lane last week, but it was the 76 ride, one of the new cats to the series, Caleb McKinney, who was able to pick up the win and pull the 76 ride into victory lane. So huge shout out there for the 76 of Caleb McKinney, having himself a heck of a run and a heck of a day last week, and being able to get that monkey off his back early on, showing these drivers really what he can do, and that he belongs here with this elite series of drivers, and that he belongs, you know, in our Outcast Racing League playoffs. Is already punching his ticket through. Now all he's got to worry about is points, trying to maybe win the regular season points championship, getting all those bonus points towards our playoffs, and or more wins, more stage wins, could potentially build up a big bank of playoff points to work himself through each and every stage to try to put himself up and in to our championship board here in the Outcast Racing League, as we've had a lot of very good winners, a lot of very good champions here throughout the years, but it's going to be tough to compete here. There's so many good drivers week after week after week that are very, very, you know, I wouldn't say casual, but they're very good at just running laps. They're very good at having good races. Even if they have a bad night, they can turn it into a good night somehow or another. We see it time and time again when we look through the field, and some of our past champions, like the 3 ride of Al Reed. You know, we've seen him have very bad nights, but still be able to salvage something by the end of it, even after getting tied up in a few wrecks out there on the racetrack. Never giving up, never backing down, even if he's multiple laps down, still rolling out there on the speedway, trying to learn everything he can for if we go back to that racetrack or another racetrack that's like that style, or just trying to get those extra couple of points by other drivers leaving the server or anything else, or other drivers running into issues and leapfrogging them on the racetrack, even being multiple laps down. But getting those extra 1-2 points could be a difference maker between making it to the next round of the playoffs or potentially winning a championship. So that's how your championship built. That's how you got to get it done. And each and every one of these drivers, they know that, and they keep on trying year after year after year, as we get a battle here for the top 10. The 31 of Adolfo Castillo, they're in position number 10 on the speedway. Now has David Durant Jr. David looked at, you know, possibly championship bound. He was one of those 8 championship drivers at Daytona here at the end of the season, and unfortunately came up a little bit shy, but was right there within striking distance of that championship pretty much all evening long. Unfortunately had to settle for not being one of our championship winners, and he's looking to try to rebound here this year, looking to try to get that opportunity once again, try to make it known that he is not here to mess around. He is here to kind of just keep on building these points and put himself in position to be in that same spot he had last season in picking up this championship. And being at Daytona International Speedway, it's a heads-up game. Anyone's race. Anyone can win a race at Daytona. It could be one of the drivers that are, you know, in the back 20s or back half of the field week after week after week. All of a sudden, when we go to the real Superspeedway style racetracks like Daytona, Talladega, even Atlanta now, it's anybody's race. Anybody can put themselves up and into victory lane. So it's going to be wild to see who's going to be able to try to get this championship here this year. And I know it's early in the season. I already talked about the championship hopes, but you got to start working and planning on a championship run right at the get-go. You got to be consistent. Consistency is key. You run into you know, a couple good races early in the season, build that momentum up, start feeling good about your program, what you're doing behind the wheel, what you're doing out there on the racetrack. That's going to lead into potentially more, better, good finishes and wins here in the Outcast Racing League regular season. But you get off to a bad start, you have a couple bad races, you got to keep your head in the game and just keep on plugging away, or try to change something up to find that extra speed, to find those runs that you need to try to get those wins and punch your way into the playoffs here. As I believe my boy Cameron Combs. Cameron coming in with the heart reaction on the broadcast. How are you, Cameron? Mr. Combs coming in, showing the love with that heart reaction. And Holly Garland coming in as well. How are you, Holly? Holly coming in, smashing that thumbs up on the broadcast as well. As Crystal Jeffries coming in, says Mama is watching Bubba. Go CJ, cheering on CJ Jeffries, who's right now out in front, leading the way here in this one. It's Holly Garland says go Wayne Garland, cheering on Mr. Wayne out there on the speedway, as Wayne currently right now back in the 20th position. Got tied up in that second caution flag. A little bit of damage to the 84 ride, but he continues to truck along out there on the speedway, trying to stay on the lead lap, hoping for that caution flag to end stage number 1 here this evening. And we got Wayne up on the webcams here as well. We'll get a good look here. I believe we have Wayne. There we go. We got Wayne there onto the webcam. Get a good look there at his office and his kitchen right now as he's cooking in behind that wheel, and he's just finding his time, making sure that he keeps this car pointing the right direction. And if they're on the racetrack, and even with that damage, he doesn't want to use that quick repair. He wants to get a couple caution flags that he's not a part of, go down pit side, get this car repaired in case if something big happens later in the race, where he can use that quick repair to his advantage and get back out there onto the racetrack. Shout out there to Mr. Garland by having his webcam turned on for us. A huge shout to all of our drivers, part of the webcams here this evening. A huge shout to each and every one of them. We got a lot of drivers here this evening with their webcams on. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, look at all these drivers, all the Outcast racing rides here live. You can see them in their webcams, in their gaming room, their living room, their kitchen, wherever they got their sim set up. They are locked in, they are focused, and they are rolling strong out here on the speedway. You see them putting the wheels into work here. The engines are already rolling as lap 35. We will see stage break number 1 on the evening. So the stage going to come out here. No one running into issues out there on the racetrack, as CJ Jeffries will win stage number 1 here at Nashville Superspeedway. Caleb McKinney going to come home in second. Austin Smith there in third. Chris Muse going to come home in position number 4. Casey Gross there in 5th, all earning themselves some stage points here this evening. Anthony Garland back there in the 6th position. Al Reed there in 7th. Josh Bromfield, Cameron Combs, and Adolfo Castillo there in position number 10 on the speedway. So Adolfo there in that 31 ride, the Quantum Motorsports Peacemaker Gaming Machine, looking fresh again out there on the speedways. The Shenco Custom Diecast Williamsburg Contracting rides all ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to battle, as we're going to see these drivers potentially come down pit side to get some work done to their rides. Maybe some fuel, some tires, as we did see the fall off was quite a bit there during that run. Drivers were really starting to fall off the pace here, so the tires are going to play a pretty big factor on the evening and what these drivers have to do in these stages. As Uncle Bot coming in, showing the love as well with the like on the stream. How are you, Mr. Bot, coming in, showing the love here this evening, dropping that like on the broadcast. How you doing tonight? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful evening, a wonderful day here. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, and jump into the comment section right now and let us know who you're cheering for. Who do you want to see up and in victory lane? And CJ Jeffries quickly down and out of his pit box. 19 right will lead us back to the green flag. Austin Smith, Chris Muse, Anthony Garland, Al Reed, our top 5 here on the speedway for the restart here in stage number 2. Cameron Combs, Josh Bromfield, Adolfo Castillo, they're in position number 8. I apologize, I'm young, I don't know what for. But then we see Caleb McKinney all the way back in 9th, and Casey Gross going to round out our top 10 here when we go back to green flag racing. So pit stops underway. Drivers rolling back out onto the racetrack. We do see one driver still down pit side. That is Wayne Garland getting his car repaired and hoping to try to stay on the lead lap and get that car fixed back up, as we're going to get ready to pull in our stage 1 winner, the number 19 is CJ Jeffries. Let's see if we can get Jeffries up here into the broadcast booth for some in-race interviews here. Let's see if we can find him in here somewhere. Right there. Let's see if we can get him up and into the booth here real quick, as see if we can just hop right into the booth here with him. Hey CJ, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
I do.
CJ, brother, a good first stage here for the 19 ride as you were able to pick up a first stage win on the evening. The 19 ride looking very, very good, very fast. You were able to lead every lap there and keep these drivers at bay. You know, what's your game plan here for stage number 2? Do you think you can hold these guys off again, or are you playing more of a strategy, try to keep that extra set of tires behind the pit wall for late in this race?
That one that you just said. Yeah, I'm going to just try to hold on. Hopefully I can finish in the top 10 here, get some points. I do know a couple guys behind me took tires, and I'm hoping that that'll affect them later on in the run. So just had to stick with it. I had a little devil on my shoulder trying to talk me into taking tires, but I think I managed to ward it off. So doing pretty good. Things feel all right, and hopefully we can just hang in here and keep the car clean.
Absolutely. Well, we're getting ready for stage number 2, so I'll hop out of here. CJ, good luck. Have fun out there, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth.
Yes, thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Mr. CJ Jeffries as he wins stage number 1. Now going to look to hold these guys up for stage number 2. So stage number 2 now underway for the Williamsburg Contracting Shenco Custom Diecast. Number 19 is CJ Jeffries leads us down through corner 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway, trying to keep himself out in front of the field as everybody else trying to track him down. As he talked there, some of these drivers did come down pit side. They did get tires, so we'll have to wait and see on some of these drivers. And if they work themselves back up here, maybe steal this stage win away from them, as we do see a couple slower rides. The 81 ride, I do believe, getting up and into the outside fence here. I'm not sure if there was contact there made or not, but let's take a look. As the yellow, pink, and black 81 gets a big run here onto the back bumper of the 15 of Cameron Combs. He doesn't realize he's catching them that quickly. Oh, man, almost gets into the back end of that 15 ride. Watches up the racetrack. Watch that contact. Pancakes hard into the outside fence. Adolfo Castillo almost getting a bit of contact into that as well. You do see Casey Gross back here. He's got to get onto the binders as he's got not a lot of room to get around the 81 ride, but that was a big hit and a tough one there for Anthony Garland. He's able to keep that car pointed the right direction, though. We'll see if he can kind of rebound from that. Hopefully no tire rubs. Hopefully not too much damage for that 81 machine as he's trying to hang on to it. Currently stuck back now in the 14th position, as there goes Mike Killingbeck and Kurt Sponsler, both going to roll around him here in this one. As out in front, the 19 ride of CJ Jeffries, who leads the way here at Nashville Superspeedway. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, these guys are putting on one heck of a show for us. As Fishy Python 1867 coming in, dropping that subscription. Fishy Python, welcome to the Peacemaker family. Welcome to the Peacemaker crew. Coming in, smashing that subscribe button, becoming a part of the Peacemaker family here this evening. I appreciate that. Coming in and showing the big love here in this one. As CJ Jeffries showing these drivers that he is the car to beat here this evening. We'll have to wait and see if some of the fresh tires can catch up to him and find a way around him, or if they start to balance off out there on the racetrack. If we start to see, the tires starting to fade away here ever so slightly for some of those fresher tires, and maybe the fall off for the older tires may not be that big, where he can hold them off here throughout this stage and maybe put this 19 ride back in to victory lane here this evening. We'll have to wait and see if he can hang on to it, as right now each and every one of these drivers doing a great job out there on the speedway. I want to give a huge shout out here to all these drivers putting on a show for us here this evening. One of those drivers that we just saw get into some issues out there on the racetrack, the 81 rider Anthony Garland. We got him here in the webcam. Let's take a look here at Anthony Garland out there on the racetrack, as Anthony unfortunately pancake that outside fence, has quite a bit of damage now to that car, and he's trying to keep himself pointed in the right direction and just trying to hang on here, hoping to see that caution flag fly either for the stage break or for other issues on the speedway. Get this car repaired, get it back into working in good condition and back into contention here this evening, as he lost about 10 spots with that little bit of contact with the outside fence here right out at corner number 4, and fortunately he's paying the price of that one right now. Scored all the way back in the 15th position. Casey Gross, who came down pit side as well, the 77 ride, who had to get onto the binders to avoid additional contact with this 81 ride right in front of him. Casey's now back into the 14th position as well, so some Big losses on the day, some big losses there on that restart for some of these drivers, but some more of these drivers working themselves up and through the field here. Is a huge shout out there to Anthony Garland having that webcam turned on for us, giving us a good look inside the driver's cage here this evening. As out in front, we got a battle for the lead, and we get a new race leader here. There goes the fresh tires, David Durant Jr., Caleb McKinney, both going to roll around CJ Jeffries. Jeffries going to move down and out of the way for them, and he is going to give them those spots. Obviously, all the older tires yet to put a fresh set onto this 19 ride. Fresher tires now in front of them, looking to run away with stage win number 2 on the evening, but they're going to duke it out between themselves. It's David Durant Jr. in the 76 of Caleb McKinney. 1 and 2 here on the racetrack. Caleb, obviously we saw him pick up the win in race number 1 last week from Auto Club Speedway. Knowing that he's already in the playoffs, he already has all the playoff points. What he's doing right now is just trying to play a little bit of different strategy, trying to do something different than what the race leaders prior to that caution flag were doing here. So taking those tires, coming down pit side, maybe going to be able to jump up here and move around David Durant Jr., maybe steal the stage and get an extra playoff point under the belt for the 76 early on in race number 2, as things are happening fast out there on the racetrack. These drivers doing a fantastic job rolling out here on the speedway, as each and every one of them trying to keep themselves out of trouble, trying to keep themselves pointed in the right direction and not be that driver that gets an early exit here today, as we are 1/3 of the way through this race. So 50 laps down and 100 laps of racing action left to go here for the Outcast Racing League, powered by Williamsburg Contracting and Shenco Custom Diecast, and our sponsors over at N Sea NSB. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here this evening. Turn up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver here this evening. is at the front of the field here. David Duran Jr. continuing to lead the way here in the 51 ride. We do see the 6th rider, Robert Tuisku, going around the race leader, trying to get himself back onto the lead lap out there on the speedway. But David Duran Jr. only a couple car lengths between himself and Lance Brantlinger out there on the speedways. These drivers doing a fantastic job out there on the racetrack during our Crank It Up as these drivers give us the sights and sounds around the beautiful Nashville Superspeedway here this evening. As out in front, David Duran Jr., he leads the way. He's showing these drivers how to get it done here in this one. And man, oh man, so far it's been a lot of fun. It's been some great racing action here this evening as these drivers been duking it out. We saw a couple early caution flags. Now things have kind of calmed down a little bit. We've seen these drivers run some pretty good long green flag runs here to finish off stage 1. And now stage number 2 so far has been nothing but clean and green racing here on the speedway. And now you see that number 8 rider, Lance Brantlinger, up here battling door to door with the 51 for the race lead. Here comes Caleb McKinney into that picture as well as they're duking it out here. Stage number 2 coming to a close in a quick hurry. And these drivers, they know what's on the line. The extra points to go towards the making of our playoffs. They want to make sure they can make it into the playoffs, and each and every one of these stage points can help them on their race to that checkered flag, into that potential of making it into the playoffs here, and also getting that extra playoff point, being able to pick up the stage win, earning that extra playoff point to put in your back pocket throughout our stages in the playoffs. Each and every one of those rounds, those points can be oh so valuable. Could be the difference between making it to the next round or not in our playoffs. Is down and across the line. We'll see lap number 70 go up and onto the board. So I do believe that the completion of lap 70 will be the end of stage number 2 here on the evening, as Lance Brantlinger does jump up and take this race lead away from the 51 of David Duran Jr. But David Duran's going to battle back here down low on the bottom side of the racetrack. A little bit of lap traffic here as they move around the 13 of James Garland. Door to door down into quarter number 3. Nice and easy out of quarter number 4 in the 51 ride. Is going to jump back up and into that top spot. So David Duran Jr. we will win stage number 2 here on the evening. We'll have to wait and see when that caution flag is thrown. If that is going to be the end of this stage, I do believe it is. There's the caution. So stage number 2 coming to a close here in this one. And it's David Duran Jr. picking up the stage win here in this one. Caleb McKinney going to come home in second. Lance Brantlinger there in third after getting up and into the outside fence. That 13 ride of James Garland in that free pass position. So James Garland will get back onto the lead lap here as he will get the lucky dog, the free pass back onto the lead lap here this evening. Mike Killingbeck back there in fourth. Kurt Sponsler, our top 5 here on the racetrack is C.J. Jeffries, Chris Muse, Josh Bromfield, Al Reed, and Austin Smith round out our top 10 here on the racetrack. But it was all David Duran Jr. once he got up and got that race lead. Had a little bit of battle there at the end of the stage between himself, McKinney, and Brantlinger. But as the dust flies, he is the one able to pick up the extra playoff point and all those extra stage points by picking up the stage win here in stage number 2. And now it's anybody's race. Driver's going to come down pit side. Some strategy going to have to be played here, whether or not you take tires or you try to save tires. We saw drivers there in that first stage come down pit side and save that set of tires. So you look at drivers like C.J. Jeffries, Chris Muse, Josh Bromfield, Al Reed, a lot of these drivers that did not come down pit side or came down just for fuel only, and not making too much of anything else. But man, oh man, oh man. Be interesting to see how this is going to play out, how it's going to shape up, who's going to have that extra set down behind pit wall late in this race. Who's going to have a car still left to compete for it, as we will see some drivers headed back down. We do see Mike Killingbeck going to be the first car off of pit lane. So Killingbeck the first car off of pit road. David Duran Jr. second. Caleb McKinney third. Lance Brantlinger going to come out in fourth. It's C.J. Jeffries, the 5th car off the line here on pit road. You will have Chris Muse, Kurt Sponsler, James Garland, Josh Bromfield, and Al Reed back there behind him. We'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. We will bring in stage winner number 2 on the evening. The 51 of David Duran Jr. Is David Duran going to come home with the big run right there in the stage win? So we'll see if we can pull him up and into the booth here for his great run right there. We can get him up here into the booth as see if we can find him here, chat. Let me see if we can find him. We got to make sure that he's in here. I do believe he is. I just don't know which channel he's in. Is David Duran Jr. Maybe he's not in the Discord. Maybe he is in the Discord. He is up in here somewhere. Okay, we can't pull him in. We can't pull him in. Hey David, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
I do.
David had a great second stage here for you as you're able to pick up stage win number 2 on the evening, man. Take us back through the racing action so far here this evening as we saw you have to start deep in the field. You kind of worked yourself up slowly towards the top 10 there in that first stage. Then a little bit of pit strategy, run down our race leaders here in the second stage, jump out in front, then have to hang on and duke it out here with the 76 of McKinney and the 8 rider Lance Brantlinger late in this stage, and you were able to beat them back to the line. A little bit of lane changes and everything else to put yourself here into the top spot for stage number 2.
I think it was the right strategy call right there, trying to at least try to get stage points. Some other guys were doing something else, so I mean, being a single car team, try to do things others won't do yet. So I think that was pretty huge to get that win and get those points right there. So now just trying to take it easy this next 76 laps. So see what happens. Basically trying to save tires here and see if we can salvage a good finish out of this.
Saving tires can be a big factor here in this one. Our tires a huge issue so far throughout this race after seeing 70 laps of racing action. Now a couple of good green flag runs. Our tire is going to be a major role and factor on whether or not drivers can find their way to victory lane.
Oh yeah, the tire is going to be a big factor here this next 70 laps. So just trying to get on the right side of the strategy and hope we can be there at the end and see if we can try to pick up a win.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we look forward to seeing you in action here for the final stage of the evening, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth at the end of the night. Good luck out there. Have some fun, David, and congratulations on the second stage win here on the evening.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for that number 51 of David Duran Jr. as he picks up stage win number 2 here on the evening. Stage win number 2 going to David Duran Jr. But now it is that 70 rider Mike Killingbeck who is our race leader here on the restart. So out in front, the 70 ride with a big jump and a big run so far for the Williamsburg Contracting Shenco Custom Diecast. Lawrence Tech number 70 as he'll lead us down the back straightaway here in quarter number 3. David Duran Jr. trying to hunt him down as Lance Brantlinger there in position number 4, trying to hang on to it here as the 76 ride of Caleb McKinney there to his inside. McKinney gets very loose out of quarter number 4 as Mike Killingbeck leading another lap. He's got a lot of fast cats right here behind him, and here comes stage winner number 1 on the evening. It is that number 19 of CJ Jeffries here in position number 5. Jeffries trying to work his Shenco Custom Diecast Williamsburg Contracting number 19 back up into the front of the field. Chris Muse right there with him. Here comes a great run from Kurt Sponsler so far as to see these drivers getting very drivers yanking the wheel down towards pit road. Oh, contact! El Reed and the 49 Struggler. They come together hard up into the outside fence. No caution flag as of yet. Each of these drivers will keep on rolling. No caution flag. A heartbreaker here for Kurt Sponsler, a heartbreaker for the 3 ride of Al Reed, and some pretty heavy damage for both of these competitors. And That's what we were talking about here. Down the front straightaway, we've seen these drivers get some big runs, but we've seen a lot of them get loose out of corner number 4, and it opens up the door for this 3-4 wide battling here. And unfortunately, you're going to see this black and red number 3 ride shoot for the middle here. The 49 of Kurt Sponsler thinks he's a little bit clear, starts to come down the racetrack to get a good angle into the corner. Unfortunately, comes down, doesn't realize the 3 right of Al Reed's there. They make contact. It shoves the 49 up into the outside fence. The 3 right trying to stay out of it, trying to keep himself clean out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately, comes back up and over the nose of the 49. Catches a big piece of that outside fence there himself, and you do see the Quantum Motorsports number 60 right of Johnny Thunders almost getting into that one as well, as he was checking up, trying to avoid any of that contact. And unfortunately, some pretty heavy contact for both of those competitors, and no caution flag, as we do see Kurt Sponsler down pit road here. So Kurt is down pit side. Al Reed also down pit road, getting some repairs done to his right as well. That's going to put both of these competitors down a lap or multiple laps here in this one. So that is definitely going to hurt their opportunities and their chances at potentially trying to pick up a checkered flag here today, as David Durant Jr. out in front continuing to lead the way. CJ Jeffries now back up into position number 2 here on the speedway. Chris Muse there in third, as we do see another couple of drivers running into issues, one of them being that Quantum Motorsports number 60 rider Johnny Thunders, as Thunders running into some issues here on the speedway himself. So we saw Johnny go up the racetrack and almost into the outside fence here in the 60 ride, now having issues down the back straightaway. Let's take a look back and see if he had some help or what might have happened here for the 60 ride. Yes, he is going to get some help here, as gonna roll down, hits the apron, gets very loose, has to check up. The 13 rider James Garland gets a piece of him there, goes with them down for a run down through the grass here. No caution flag, as Johnny does make pretty good contact with that inside wall, and unfortunately there, that's going to take him out of potential race win here this evening, as well as now that front end damage to tore up race car, now finding himself at risk of going a lap down on the speedway as well, and running quite a bit slower than the rest of our race leaders here. So that's going to really hurt him here as this run keeps on going, keeps on rolling here. It's going to be tough for him to battle back from that one. Now getting into the outside fence again. This car is a handful here. You can see him up there in the camera. He is focused in, he's zeroed in, trying not to make any more mistakes, just trying to salvage something here, hoping for another caution flag and an opportunity to come down pit road and fix that run without going a lap down, without having to make a green flag pit stop here. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can keep this car out there on the racetrack and keep it, in contention here on the evening without making any of these mistakes. A huge shout out there again to Mr. Thunders for having his webcam turned on. A huge shout out to all of our drivers with the webcams turned on here. We got a lot of them here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look here at all of the drivers as they come into focus. The cameras are looking a little fuzzy right now. They'll come into focus here and give you a good shot and a good look at each and every one of these competitors that have their webcams turned on for us. They have the ability to do that. We have the ability to show you guys, what they're doing here. Not only from their bedroom or their living room or anything else, but they're in the cockpits. They're in behind the wheel here. They're zeroed in. They're focused up. You see some of them with you can see the screens running triples. Some of them are rolling with the VR. Some of them, not running VR. We normally have, I believe, Al Reed with the VR headset turned on, but we don't see Al up there right now. But nonetheless, you see all these competitors out there on the racetrack doing their best on the speedway, and a huge shout to each and every one of them for having the webcams turned on for us here this evening to give us this cool look, this cool perspective of what they're doing behind the wheel out there on the racetrack. So a huge shout out there to each and every one of those drivers. As we do see the 60 ride still out there on the speedway, not coming down pit road yet, still trying to salvage this car, and slowly but surely you do see our race leaders trying to hunt him down. As out in front, David Durant Jr. leading the way here, but CJ Jeffrey slowly but surely reeling him back in. So CJ Jeffrey trying to hunt down our race leader David Durant Jr. here in this one, as Austin Smith back there in third, Chris Muse there in fourth. We do see Caleb McKinney there in the fifth position. Lance Brantlinger, Josh Bromfield, Cameron Combs, and Casey Gross, and Adolfo Castillo They're in position number 10 on the Speedway in the Peacemaker Gaming Quantum Motorsports at number 31 ride. They're on the racetrack. Anthony Garland back here in the 11th spot with Wayne Garland, Billy Jordan, Gary Wright, and James Garland, our top 15 here on the Speedway. Killing back here in the 16th spot with Johnny Thunders. They're in 17th. Dean Shasby, now the first car one lap down in the Sim Racing Dad, number 52. Here in the 18th position with Al Reed, a lap down. They're in 19th. Sponsor a couple laps down there in 20th. And Robert Tuwiscu, unfortunately, down pit side here for a little while here. He's looking his car right down and off the Speedway. We'll take a look as he's ran into some issues. Never saw him get into the wall or anything, but let's take a look and see what brings this 6th ride down pit side here, as slow on the bottom side of the racetrack. Doesn't look like any damage necessarily to this 6th ride, but slowed down the back straightaway, and then I don't know if he just downshifted a little early or upshifted a little early right there, but takes it down onto the apron. And as he gets stopped here on the racetrack, he's going to take this car off the Speedway and down pit side, so a tough break right there for Robert Tuwiscu here in this one. Our breaker there for that orange number 6 machine. As we go back to battle, we do see the battle at the front of the field. Out in front, the 19. TJ Jeffries leading the way now as he's going to jump up and take this race lead away from David Durant Jr. So Durant now back to second, as TJ Jeffries back to the front of the field, as here comes Austin Smith trying to hunt them both down. Chris Muse there in 4th, and then we see Lance Brantlinger rounding out our top 5 here on the Speedway. Cameron Combs back there in 6th with Caleb McKinney, Casey Gross, Adolfo Castillo, and Josh Bromfield rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. And these laps are getting clicked down in a quick hurry, as ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. Become a part of the Peacemaker members group. Hit that join button. Become part of the members family over on YouTube today. Hit that join button. Take a look at all the amazing things that you get and can unlock by becoming a member here on Peacemaker Gaming. As Mushmouth TV coming in, showing the love, says, let's go Friends for Pets car. Unfortunately, Mushmouth, there is no Friends for Pets car here in this one, but I know you're cheered on French each and every single day. Unfortunately, no Robert McDonald here in this series, but I like the way you think, man. Giving that good shout out to Friends for Pets here in this one, as that's definitely an amazing thing, and I know it's coming up in a quick hurry, less than a month away from seeing the Friends for Pets down there at the beautiful juke joint here in beautiful Tennessee. As you guys are close to this racetrack, man. You guys are very close to the Speedway. As take a look, we're at Nashville Superspeedway here this evening. Those aren't too far away from this beautiful Speedway down there in the USA. As out in front right now, battling still for the race lead, it is CJ Jeffries that has taken over this race once again. We saw him win stage number 1 on the evening. Stage winner number 2 there in 2nd. So two very fast hot rods here at the front of the field. Austin Smith trying to track them both down. Chris Muse back up into the 4th spot on the Speedway. Lance Brantlinger up 7 positions, looking to rebound from a rough race in week number 1 here with the Outcast Racing League. Heroes there in that 5th spot with Cameron Combs, Casey Gross, Caleb McKinney, our first winner of the season there in 8th. Adolfo Castillo there in position at number 9 on the Speedway, and Bromfield working right there to his inside as they battle out there on the racetrack. Jeffries going to click off another lap as the number 19 at the front of the field. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are just tuning in, though, make sure you guys hit that like button on the broadcast, hit that share, hit that follow, and hit that subscribe button over there on YouTube. These riders put on a heck of a show, heck of a race, and heck of a battle for us to enjoy here on this fine Sunday afternoon. Midway through September, that's absolutely crazy. We got October right around the corner, and that means we'll have to get ready for the spooky season about to come right at us here. Spooky season, October coming right up, and that means your boy getting closer and closer to turn in the Dirty 30. Midway through October 13th, we turn the Dirty 30, and we're going to have to do something special. We're going to be on stream no matter what. We got the broadcast here at the Shenco Custom Diecast Williamsburg Contracting Outcast Racing League here on the Sunday afternoons. My birthday's on the Sunday of October 13th, and that means we'll be able to celebrate my birthday here on stream. We may be able to do something else later on in the evening to do a little bit of a birthday party, a little bit of a birthday bash there midway through October to really, bring everybody together, have some fun, have some drinks, and enjoy the evening of just playing some random games here on Peacemaker Gaming for our birthday. So it could be for a lot of fun there on that afternoon. So you guys will not want to miss that one. And definitely put that one into the schedule. Put that one into your notebooks. That way you guys don't miss out on the birthday action here on the 13th of October. As right now, these drivers, they're looking to have some fun. They're having some great battles out here on the Speedway, but it's starting to become a little bit more of the CJ Jeffrey show here this evening. CJ out in front. He's going to lead another lap. It's nice and easy out at corner number 4 here at Nashville Superspeedway. CJ Jeffries will click off lap number 100. So 100 laps in the history books here this evening, and only 50 more laps of racing action left to go. 50 laps for these drivers to duke it out. And we're going to jump into our final Peacemaker Gaming rank it up here on the evening. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here again on Peacemaker Gaming. run as these drivers continue to give us a great show, a beautiful crank it up session right there by each and every one of these competitors as we were able to watch some green flag pit stops underway there during that crank it up. So drivers jumping out there, putting in some fresh tires, putting in some fuel into their race cars, hoping to make it to the end of this race as we got about 35 laps of racing action left here this evening. So about 35 laps until we see our race winner out there on the speedway. And right now, our race leader is this number 19 ride of CJ Jeffries. Jeffries leading the way with Austin Smith in position number 2. He's about 5 seconds back of that 19 ride. So an earlier pit stop for CJ Jeffries. A little bit of mistake here from some of these other competitors as they were a little slower down pit road. And here you go. CJ Jeffries now with a 5-second gap between himself and our second place competitor. Chris Muse back here in position number 3 as Lance Brantlinger and Cameron Combs right there behind him, rounding out our top 5. Here on the speedway, as Combs is going to work himself around Brantlinger for the 4th position on the speedway. So move Combs there to 4th, Brantlinger back to 5th as Casey Gross rolls there in position number 6. David Durant Jr., one of those drivers that was at the front of the field here before the green flag pit stop, stayed out a little bit longer, so he's got fresher tires than the rest of the drivers out there on the racetrack. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out for him, how that strategy may work for this number 51. Josh Bromfield right there behind him in position number 8. Adolfo Castillo there in position number 9 on the speedway. Anthony Garland there in 10th. Wayne Garland currently in the 11th position, and Caleb McKinney coming down pit side. So McKinney making a green flag pit stop here once again. Now I'm not sure if this is his first green flag pit stop or if this is a secondary trip down pit road for the 76 ride. If it's a secondary trip, then this one is really going to hurt that 76 ride as he's already a lap down here, still down pit side. We do see Anthony Garland now heading down pit road as well. So we'll have to wait and see how these strategies are going to play out for the drivers that came down here a lot later than everybody else. He's going to roll back out onto the racetrack here. He will have the freshest tires on the speedway, but you do see CJ Jeffries running down the front straightaway into corner number 1 right now, as we do see that number 76 just coming back down the back straightaway here, starting to build up speed. Our race leader going to be not too far behind him. There you go. He's going to catch him in a quick hurry down into corner number 4, so almost 2 laps down now for that 76 ride. Caleb McKinney, so he's going to have to be careful here. He's going to need to lay down some very fast lap times, and he's going to have to try to hope that this race stays clean and green for him to roll around the racetrack, not only gain a lap back to get back onto the lead lap, but he's also going to need to try to figure out a way to try to make up ground, make up positions, use this strategy to his advantage here late in this race, and I don't think he's going to have enough time for it to really pay off desperately here for him in this one, coming down pit road so much later than the rest of the field. As CJ Jeffries rolling there in the top spot, still with about a 4.5 second lead here between himself and Austin Smith. Smith is closing that gap though. He is reeling in our race leader ever so slightly, lap after lap, just running fairly identical lap times and closing the gap ever so slightly here, but not catching them quick enough on the racetrack, especially with the laps starting to really clip down out there on the racetrack. And Slingin' Dirt Series, Slingin' Dirt coming in showing the love here in this one, as Tyler Humphrey says, let's go Misfits Racing, cheering on all the Misfits out there on the speedway. Tyler, my boy, we missed you out there on the racetrack. Where were you today, brother? Where were you? Mr. Humphrey unfortunately missing out on the action here in race number 2 of the season. In the Must Love Poodles, number 94, we like to see him out there on the racetrack, racing, not up in the chat, but we do appreciate you coming in, showing the love and cheering on all of your Misfits Racing teammates here this evening. Is out in front. So far, a very good run and a very good race for the number 19 ride. Is out in front. CJ Jeffries continuing to lead the way here, but that lead once again starting to get a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller here for CJ Jeffries. The lead is now only about 3.6 seconds, so that lead is shrinking, and that 23 still has quite a bit of laps left here to try to hunt down our race leader. Can CJ Jeffries hold him off? Can Austin Smith find that gear to jump up here and duke it out for this race lead? Does he have more traffic to have to work with? Will these lap cars get up and out of the way here? Let him cruise by with ease. Will they put up as big of a fight here with our second place driver, Austin Smith? Or will they just move up and out of the way for this number 23 to try to track down our race leader here in this one? So many different variables going to go into this race as everybody out there doing a fantastic job. Another big, long green flag run here for these drivers and these competitors here this evening. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you guys are enjoying the racing action. Make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. As Austin Smith there in second, we now see Cameron Gomes up and in to position number 3 here. Gomes has been working himself up and around a few of these drivers towards the front of the field here. We do see Chris Hughes back here in 4th. Josh Bromfield now in the 5th position. David Durant Jr. there in 6th. Mike Killingback back in 7th as James Garland there in 8th. Gary Wright back in 9th, and now we see Wayne Garland down pit side here. He's going to miss his pit box, has to throw it and reverse and back it into the box here. So unfortunately, that's going to give up quite a bit of time here for the 84 ride. So he gets some fuel into that car, rolls back out onto the racetrack. Unfortunately, now going to be a lap or 2 down here on the speedway, and that is going to hurt this 84 ride's odds at trying to pick up a win here this evening, as a lot of drivers find themselves down a lap out there on the speedway, hoping to either catch our race leaders and go around them and put themselves back on the lead lap, or hoping for some more green flag pit stops, and that's exactly what they may see. CJ Jeffries back down pit side. So what could be our final green flag pit stops here on the evening? With only 22 more laps left to go, CJ Jeffries finds himself throwing an extra set of fresh tires onto this car. Do the other drivers back here battling that we're trying to chase him down? Do they got those fresh tires or not? But we do see the 19 extended time down pit side. This could be the make or break moment for the 19 ride. CJ Jeffries came in with a huge lead, looking to take advantage of an extra set of fresh tires down behind pit wall, and now a pit road speeding penalty finds CJ Jeffries on a hold penalty here on pit road. Oh no, my gosh, this is a heartbreaker for the JRC race car, Shenco Custom Diecast, Williamsburg Contracting number 19 ride, as the Williamsburg Contracting ride finally getting up to speed and rolling back out onto the racetrack. And as he rolls back out, that 13 car right there of James Garland was, at the time of the green flag pit stops, running at about the 7th or 8th position out there on the racetrack. So you can expect that the 19 ride will be back at around that area once this one kind of cycles on through. So potentially giving this one away for free for the 19 ride, and that is never the way you want to lose a race. It's never the way you want to have your night come to a conclusion with a run like that and a pit road speeding penalty, taking you potentially out of the competition here this evening for the race win. That's exactly what Cameron Coleman wanted to see, though. It's exactly what Chris Muse and David Durant Jr. wanted to see, as that will give them opportunity to battle it out for the race win. Same with Austin Smith, as he definitely wanted to see that. What a Smith back here in the 5th position right now, but we do see Cameron Gomes head down pit side. Chris Muse is now our race leader with David Durant Jr. there in position number 2 on the speedway. Cameron Gomes is down pit side. He's being scored in the 3rd spot. Gary Wright there in position number 4 on the racetrack. Austin Smith in that 5th position here in this one. Casey Gross currently in the 6th spot with Josh Bromfield, Anthony Garland, Adolfo Castillo. They're in position number 9, and Al Reed rounding out our top 10. Wayne Garland, Mike Killingback, Caleb McKinney, James Garland, and CJ Jeffries, who was our race leader before that pit road speeding penalty. Now we find the 19 ride all the way back in the 15th position and down a lap on the speedways. Out in front, Chris Muse not coming down pit road as of yet. Muse is going to stay out. David Durant Jr. possibly on that same strategy, going to stay out for another lap as well, as they got about 28 seconds or so between themselves and that number 23 of Austin Smith. This Smith is now our first car 1 lap down, has the fresher tires, currently running in the 3rd position as Chris Muse saying out here on the speedway, this could be a big strategy moment for this number 99 ride, as there you see Austin Smith working himself back onto the lead lap. If a caution flag were to be thrown right now, we would only have 3 drivers on the lead lap, plus 1 driver getting that lucky dog position. Everybody else that's made pit stops are either 1 lap down, 2 laps down, 3 laps down out there on the speedway, and it could potentially trap them down a lap or 2 out there on the racetrack. So this could make for a interesting finish to the race if we were to see that caution flag, but it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. We did see Cameron Combs have some issues off the racetrack, came back out onto the track here, currently in the 7th spot on the speedway. He's got Josh Bromfield here in front of him. Casey Gross there as well in position number 5 now. And the number 16 of Gary Wright rolls there in position number 4 with Austin Smith back here in the 3rd position. He's trying to track down our race leaders now, as he is that first car, the last car on the lead lap. You do see the 16 right here, Gary Wright, trying to track down our race leader. Gary trying to put himself back onto the lead lap as well. They're in that 16 machine, but still potential late green flag pit stops for the 99 rider, Chris Muse and David Duran Jr. Both of these drivers stayed out a little bit longer during that first run here of this final stage. Maybe they were able to save enough fuel, come down pit side and get enough into it where they may not have to make another green flag pit stop. And if they don't have to come back down pit side, can their tires hang on? Can they hold on to them long enough and save enough fuel to be able to stay in front of the rest of the field and put themselves into victory lane? Could be a very bold strategy, could be a race-winning move here for Chris Muse or David Duran Jr. late in this race, as we did see Josh Bromfield down and off the speedway as well. He's able to get his car pointed back in the right direction here and out of trouble, so no caution flag on the speedway for the number 12 ride there on the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, some great racing action, some great battles out there on the speedway. And as we get closer and closer to our checkered flag, we get closer to punching another ticket potentially into our Outcast Racing League playoffs. You guys know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as my boy Corey Crowell coming in showing the love. What's good, Corey? Corey coming in says, let's go. Austin Smith cheered on Mr. Smith out there on the speedway as he's rolling in that 3rd spot. Has already made a green flag pit stop, and there's the caution flag. We talked about it. We spoke it into existence. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show. Well, here you go. This is really going to mix things up, as the caution flag is going to be displayed here in this one. Dean Shakespeare running into issues in a late race caution flag for the 52. The Sim Racing Dad, number 52, right? See some contact between him and our 2nd place driver, David Duran Jr. right there. David Duran Jr. rolling in position number 2 here. The Valvoline number 51 going to get some hard contact right here into that left rear quarter panel. Gets fairly sideways as the 52 and the 51 come together. You see them losing a ton of momentum. As they do start to lose that momentum, here comes the 6 of Robert Tuwiscu. He's going to come in and give a shot to the back end of the 52 ride. Hard up into the outside fence, but he also catches a big piece of David Duran Jr. Hopefully not race-ending damage here for that 52, but a toe link or something could have been knocked out right there, as he does bounce it off the wall a couple of times here as well. So quite a bit of damage there for the 52, quite a bit of damage for the 51. And unfortunately, that's going to really mix things up late in this race, as David Duran Jr. electing to stay out on the speedway, not going to come down pit side here. So an interesting call there for the 51 ride, as we do see the 23 Austin Smith still out there on the speedway. He does rejoin the rear of the field here, as he was still technically on the lead lap. Chris Muse there in position number 3. He came down pit side. He's going to roll back out onto the racetrack as Gary Wright, our free pass, the lucky dog. We'll get that free spot back here on the speedway. So move Gary Wright here in position number 4 back onto the lead lap. And I do believe a lot of these other drivers, sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning. I'm not even tired, but a lot of these other drivers potentially are going to stay trapped a lap down. Now, that may have been the strategy call here for this 51 rider, David Duran Jr. If he comes down pit road, he puts all these other drivers back onto the lead lap, but if he stays out, it keeps all these drivers back there behind him. They will not be able to get that wave around. Right now, there's only a few drivers that will get the wave around that are in front of him, one of them being that 6 ride, Robert Tuwiscu, the 84 of Wayne Garland, are 2 drivers that will get the wave around back around our pace car, and they'll gain a lap back here, both of them multiple laps down, but and in front, David Duran Jr. staying on the racetrack will keep the 70 ride of Mike Killingbeck. Couple laps down there in the 70 ride. The 76 of Caleb McKinney, lap down as well. The 19 of CJ Jeffries, James Garland, the 77 of Casey Gross. We do see the 15 ride also staying a lap down. That's Cameron Combs. The number 12 of Josh Bromfield, Adolfo Castillo. They're in position number 8, a lap down on the speedway. Anthony Garland a lap down as well in the 81, as only right now it's 4 drivers that are on the lead lap here on the speedway. They're going to get lined up together as lead lap cars will start here at the front of the field, and it's only 3 competitors that will start towards the front. Gary Wright, who was able to get that lucky dog, the free pass back onto the lead lap, he will line up at the rear of the field, so he'll have all of these other drivers here in front of them still. So all the lap down cars that were trying to hope for the wave around, trying to get back onto the lead lap, they're going to be in between him and the rest of our lead lap drivers. So right now, it's virtually a race between 3 cars out here on the speedway. David Duran Jr., Austin Smith, and Chris Muse are going to be the 3 competitors on the lead lap getting ready to go back to green flag racing. So this definitely open things up. This is going to make things very interesting. Alex says, not a real race. Obviously, Alex, that's why it's called iRacing. This is iRacing in the Outcast Racing League. Obviously, the only realness to it is the competitiveness and the nature of the fun here on the speedway in the simulators. Not obviously real life racing action. That's why we're in a broadcast booth here in my bedroom, and all these drivers are in their bedrooms behind their racing rigs here on the racetrack, and you can get a good look at all those drivers. A lot of the drivers here with their driver webcams turned on, where you can see them in their living room and clearly not in a real life race car. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. As we get ready to rock and roll, we get ready to go back to green flag racing. As Sim Racing Dad coming in, dropping that subscription, or dropping that follow over on the Twitch channel, coming in, hitting that follow button. Welcome to the Peacemaker family. Welcome to the Peacemaker crew over there on Twitch. As we get ready for a late race restart here in this one, David Duran Jr. out in front. We'll see that green flag fly. So the green flag back out into the air for David Duran Jr. Austin Smith there in second, and Chris Muse in position number 3. Now, some of these drivers may have fresher tires than our race leader, so they may be able to work themselves back onto the lead lap, but they are right now not in the battle for the win here this evening. Right now, it's between the 51 and the 23 of Austin Smith. Smith does have fresher tires than our race leader, and he's looking to use it to his advantage. As door to door, they get a little loose down the front straightaway, and the caution flag will come back out. So the caution flag going to come back out here in this one. Another late race restart for our race leaders, and that is a heartbreaker for Austin Smith, as he was getting ready to try to jump up and take this race lead away from David Duran Jr. As the caution flag comes out, Duran will stay in the race lead. Austin Smith will stay there in second. Chris Muse there in third, and Gary Wright in position number 4. Casey Gross in the 77 ride, he is in that free pass position, so I do believe the Quantum Motorsports Peacemaker Gaming number 77 will get that wave around and back onto the lead lap here himself. So a big break there for the Outcast Racing League number 77 of Casey Gross. But we'll take a look back, see what happens, see what brings out this caution flag, as it looks like Josh Bromfield and James Garland going to be running into some issues on the bottom side of the racetrack. You actually see Bromfield in the 31 of Adolfo Castillo, unfortunately, coming together right here. Bottom side of the speedway, they're going to make contact. poor boy, unfortunately, comes down over the nose of the 31. He gets loose, shoots up the racetrack hard into the driver's side door of the 13 of James Garland. They both nose it in to the outside fence here in corner number 3. Heavy contact, heavy damage for both of those drivers. I do believe that may end their evenings here this night, as some pretty heavy contact, pretty good damage for both of these drivers. As once again, here's the initial contact between the 31 and the 12, and that shoots the 12 of Bromfield right up the racetrack. Nothing that the 13 right can do, just an innocent bystander right there, just trying to stay out of it, trying to stay out of the contact here, and unfortunately, you get some heavy damage, and that may be the end of the night there for that 13 riders. We'll jump on board with Bromfield, watch it as he goes up the track and into the 13 and into the outside fence. Heavy contact, heavy damage there for him. Let's see if we can jump on board with James Garland, as Garland here just trying to mind his P's and Q's, looking to just keep himself pointed in the right direction. Unfortunately, right here, bam! Gonna get hit, gonna get collected. That is not the place you want to be if you're that 13 machinist. Let's jump on board here with them, and yeah, nothing you can do. Nothing you can do if you're the 13 ride there. James Garland, a tough break there for him. Tough break there for the 12 ride of Bromfield as well. Both drivers down pit side here. Bromfield extended time down pit road getting repairs. We do see the 13 rolling back out onto the racetrack. Luckily enough, not a whole lot of repairs to be done to that 13 right. He was able to use his quick repair and get that car fixed back up and back out onto the racetrack. So a good break right there for him, as Michael Smith coming in, says let's go Austin, cheering on Austin Smith out there on the racetrack now. We did see those fresh tires and everything else really make a big difference down the back straightaway and into corner number 3 and 4. So, binding a very big restart for the 51 rider, David Durant Jr. He's going to have to be on top of his game here. He may have to throw some pretty crazy blocks trying to keep this 23 ride back there behind him. But not only does he got to deal with Austin Smith, he's got to deal with Chris Muse. They are in position number 3. Gary Wright there in position number 4, and Casey Gross going to be in that 5th position. Unfortunately for Casey, he's going to have all of these lap down cars in between himself and our race leader. So unfortunately, even though he's in that 5th spot, he's really not in contention here in this restart. But if we do see another caution flag, he will get back around all those lap down cars. He will rejoin these guys at the front of the field and put him right in the thick of things here at the front of the field. There's 4 drivers on the lead lap here in the top 2 rows for the restart, as we will get ready for NASCAR overtime here from Nashville Superspeedway. NASCAR overtime, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, going to come right at you. If you guys have been enjoying the racing action here in this one, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. As Sim Racing Dad says, that was bull by the 51. That's an unfortunate break, brother. And yeah, tough night for a lot of drivers, a tough night for everybody right now that's, sitting here wanting to race for position, wanting to race for a win, and, stuck a lap down or multiple laps down there with that caution flag. So definitely one that hurt a lot of these competitors out there on the speedway. We get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go. The lights are off. The official iRacing pace car. He will make the hard left-hand turn back down pit side, and that will unleash this field once again into the hands of the 51 of David Durant Jr. David will choose the outside lane here is down through the Geico restart zone for what could be our final restart of the evening. A good jump there for David Durant Jr. Is down the front straightaway. He's looking to try to open up a bit of a lead, but here comes that 23. Austin Smith and the 99 of Chris Muse trying to get wound up here to look to chase down our race leader. Is down the back straightaway. David Durant Jr. trying to run away with this one, but here come those fresh tires. He sends it in there a little deeper. Austin Smith right there on him, and the caution flag going to come right back out here in this one. So cautions breeding cautions. Late race yellow flags really mixing things up here with the Outcast Racing League, powered by Williamsburg Contracting, Shenco Custom Diecast, and N Sea NSB. Let's take a look here as it looks like Johnny Thunders and Kurt Sponsler possibly getting tied up here in this one. And yeah, right there, unfortunately, the 60 and the 49 coming together up there on the outside of the quarter number 2 here. Let's take another look at it, see if we get another angle at the contact here, as do you see the 3 right of Al Reed all over the back bumper here of Johnny Thunders. Unfortunately, I think he gives a little shot to that 60 right, and it just washes Johnny up the racetrack here. You see the 49 already out of room into the outside fence, and 60 right is going to join him up there. And unfortunately for the Quantum Motorsports, Shenco Custom Diecast, Peacemaker Gaming, number 60 right, quite a bit of damage there for him, and quite a bit of damage for that 49 right as well of Mr. Sponsler out there on the speed. Let's see if we can jump on board here with Kurt Sponsler, see what he can see here from the cockpit of this number 49 ride. Is really nothing he can do. He's already against the outside wall, nowhere he can go, and still not enough room. And unfortunately, as they get time together, that will bring out the caution flag and another NASCAR overtime here for us to enjoy on the evening. So we will get them ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go back to battle, as we'll get a quick word in here from our sponsors over at N Sea NSB. Alrighty, as we'll get ready to go back to battle here in this one. Huge shout out there to our sponsors over at N Sea NSB here this evening, as these drivers loaded up and ready to duke it out once again for another NASCAR overtime. Now, I'm not 100% sure. We can take a quick look and see how many we got here. So this is 2 of 2. So this is the last attempt and NASCAR overtime here, ladies and gentlemen. If we see another caution flag, this race will end no matter what. So the 51 right can get a big jump, and we see some more contact and another caution flag before the checkered flag here this evening. Whichever car is out in front, whichever car is leading the way, will be our race winner. So David Durant Jr. looking for a big restart and hoping for something to happen here behind him, the rear of the field. Austin Smith hoping to stay clean and green for these 2 laps, hoping to try to get a run to get around this 51 right and park himself up in victory lane. So isn't Gary Wright, Chris Muse, and Casey Gross is our top 5 up here at the front of the field. Our 6th place driver, our final driver on the lead lap right now. He's got the lap cars in between himself and that top 5, so he's quite a ways back there. Really not in contention here, but anybody inside our top 5 could potentially put themselves up and into victory lane here this evening, as we will get them ready to go to battle here once again from Nashville Superspeedway. It is the 51 of David Durant Jr. who will lead us down to the green flag as the pace car off the racetrack here late in this one for the Outcast Racing League. As down through the Geico restarts on the green flag, back in the air, our final attempt at NASCAR overtime here this evening. a good jump and a good restart once again for David Duran Jr. as he's looking to put himself up into victory lane. Austin Smith there in second, trying to reel him in as here comes Chris Muse, Gary Wright, and that number 77. But here's the pass for the race lead. Around goes the 23. It is Austin Smith to the point. Austin Smith out in front now is Chris Muse there in second. 3 wide back there behind him. As down the front straightaway and across the line, we will see the white flag fly. So one more time around here for Austin Smith as he's at the front of the field, trying to open up a little bit of a gap between himself and Chris Muse. Muse rolling there in second as Casey Gross up into the outside fence. David Durant Jr. trying to hold on to position number 3 as they're stacked up 4 wide back there behind them for the final time. Down through corner number 3 and out of corner number 4, it's Austin Smith who will pick up the win here at Nashville Superspeedway in the Outcast Racing League Series powered by Williamsburg Contracting, Shenco Custom Diecast, and N Sea NSB. The 23 is your winner, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let's get some congratulations up in the chat right now for our race winner, Austin Smith. Austin Smith getting it done and pulling himself up into victory lane here in this one. Corey Crowell says, let's go, Austin. Let's go, baby. Austin with a big run and a big win here this evening. Now, not only getting a lot of points here for the regular season championship, but also picking up this win. He is going to get that golden ticket and punch his way straight on through to our Outcast Racing League playoffs here this season. So a big win, a meaningful win for Austin Smith in race number 2 in our season as he will join the number 76 ride of Caleb McKinney as our 2 winners to start this season. So Caleb McKinney, Austin Smith win race 1 and race 2 here this evening. And man, oh man, oh man, these guys have been putting on a heck of a show for us, race after race after race. And you can see that this 23 ride is pretty pumped up, picking up the win here tonight. And this one will get ready to pull Austin up and into the broadcast booth for his post-race interview. Michael Smith says, nice win, Austin. A very nice win, a very good win right there for Mr. Smith. And we'll have to talk to him here very, very quickly. Get him up here into the broadcast booth for a great run and a great drive. Let's get him up here, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Austin, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha. How's it going?
Not too bad, Austin, as you jump out of that race car here, picking up the win in the race number 2 of the Outcast Racing League. Man, take us back through this one. What's going through your mind? What are the emotions like knowing that you were able to get the job done here this evening from Nashville Superspeedway?
Yeah, pretty pumped about that. I was just trying to figure it out throughout the entire race, just trying to, run clean, save tires, figure out the best line, and just try to be there at the end. And unfortunately, I think it was David who made that mistake coming on that last restart, hit the wall. And once I saw the clean track, I was super excited. So super happy to get that win.
Absolutely, a big win, a big race here for you, but take us through some of the emotion here. A couple late race restarts, caution flags coming right back out when you were trying to get some runs to take the race lead away from David Duran Jr. All of a sudden we look up, we only have 2 attempts at NASCAR overtime. That was the final attempt right there where you're getting a little bit nervous, already seeing those, back-to-back caution flags coming out before you were able to complete that pass. If it happened again, 51 ride would have ended up in victory lane under the caution flag circumstances here. Was that sitting in the back of your mind there in that final restart?
Yeah, of course. I was actually getting really frustrated because I knew that if I could just have 2 or 3 laps with David, I think I could have got around him. I think I had fresher right sides than him, so I was going to make a run, but just those cautions were really frustrating. So fortunately, he made a mistake, and I was able to get around him that way. And yeah, super excited. And it was crazy. Right before I started this race, I didn't put a single lap in practice. I just went out, put a Q lap down, and then was just trying to figure it out during the race. So can't complain about this.
Absolutely Well, I'd say you figured it out in a quick hurry as you pull yourself up here in the victory lane. Now, not only being able to get the win and all the glory of a checkered flag here in the Outcast Racing League, powered by Williamsburg Contracting, but you're also able to get that golden ticket into the playoffs. Now you know that you've punched your way through and you're able to race here for a championship in a few short months here when we go playoff racing.
Yeah, gotta love that. Get it out of the way early in the season, and then can kind of coast through the rest of the season, try to help my teammates in Midwest Motorsports out. Hopefully we can get everybody else in, and hopefully make it a good season.
Absolutely. Not only trying to help your teammates make it into the playoffs now, but you can also focus a little bit more maybe on stage wins, some different strategies throughout these races to try to earn yourself those bonus points towards the playoffs as well. So a whole new world as you are able to punch your way straight on through into our playoffs here, picking up a big win here at Nashville Superspeedway. Austin, who would you like to thank for such a great run and solid performance here this evening?
Yeah, just need to thank my team, Midwest Motorsports. I know a lot of them were busy this weekend and on Sunday today, race day, so they couldn't make it, but always need to thank them. Thank the guys at ORL for putting the league on, really appreciate it, and of course you just put on the amazing show that you do.
Absolutely, brother. It's always my pleasure watching you guys duke it out there on the racetrack. We can't wait to see you back in action next Sunday as well. And hopefully we'll see this 23 ride right back up here in Victory Lane or right back up in the broadcast booth, as I'm sure this is going to be a heck of a momentum builder, not only for yourself, but your whole team here as well.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Austin Smith. Smith picking up the win and pulling himself into victory lane. A great run and a great drive there for the 23 machine as we'll get ready to pull our second place finisher up and into the broadcast booth here this evening. It is the 99 of Chris Muse. Muse coming home in position number 3. I do believe we still got the webcam turned on here for him. Let's see if we get him in here. Yes, we do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for Chris Muse coming home in a solid second place run here on the evening. Hey, Chris, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes, I do.
Chris, brother, man, a good run, a good race here for you. Pretty solid day up inside the top 5, top 10, all race long. And then some craziness here late in the race. Obviously, some different pitch strategies being played out by a lot of these other drivers. And you guys were able to trap a ton of these guys a lap down or multiple laps down out there on the racetrack. And you guys were able to duke it out here with, binding a couple of those late race caution flags. There was only about 3-4 cars left on the lead lap there as that late caution flag came out to really put us into these wild finishes with these late race restarts.
Yeah, man. I just talked to Durand, and I wish that the caution never even came out. Me and him were good to finish the race without going back in. And then, of course, when it did come out, I had a fresh set of tires sitting in the pit still, and I'm like, if I go in now, I'm going to go back to the front because everyone was a lap down. I knew everyone was going to get waved around, but I would have been waved back to the front on the restart. So I was like, I'm going to go in and get the tires. And then they're like, oh my God, Durand didn't go in. And I was like, well, that's interesting. Maybe he doesn't have another fresh set of tires. So, still worked out where I could take a second, but I couldn't get around. 2 laps is pretty tough to get around somebody here. Austin's a fast driver.
Absolutely. He got that 23 ride, a fast car. He had fairly fresh tires as well on that 23 ride, and obviously being able to start on the front row, go after that 51 ride with the fresher tires in a quick hurry there. And then once he kind of got that clean air and obviously not having a whole lot of time to try to track him down and make something happen here for the race lead, you had to settle in for a solid second place run, though, Chris. You pulled the 99 right up here onto the podium, and who would you like to thank for such a good run and good race here all evening long?
I'd like to thank Williamsburg Contracting for coming on and as a sponsor, and Shenco Custom Diecast, N Sea, Chad over there, and you for bringing it to us every week, and Anthony Garland for and the admins for organizing everything.
Absolutely, brother. It's always our pleasure being able to watch you guys duke it out in battle week after week after week here on Peacemaker Gaming, man. And this was another good one, another exciting finish here for the Outcast Racing League. And it's fun watching a battle here again at the front of the field. Unfortunately, had to settle in for that second place finish here tonight, but a good night nonetheless. Lots of points going into the bank here for you and your hopes to making it into another playoff series here for the Outcast Racing League.
Thank you.
Absolutely, brother Chris. Congratulations on the great run. Congratulations on the great race, and we hope to see you back up here in the broadcast booth next Sunday, and hopefully, maybe one trip, one spot better into victory lane here next weekend.
Ooh, next weekend's Richmond. I don't know about that. It's not my. Richmond and North Wilkesboro are terrifying for me. So, yeah, we got both of those this season. So. It's going to be a survive and see what I can finish at the end of the race.
All right. Well, I mean, hey, maybe a little strategy, maybe a little bit of a different game plan may find yourself in a similar situation as of today, and maybe not next week, but maybe one of these weeks in the near future, we'll see you up here in Victory Lane yourself.
Yep. Hopefully.
Absolutely, Chris. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Chris Muse coming in not only with the webcam, but a solid second place run here this evening. Huge shout out there to that 99 ride as he comes home in position number 2 here this evening. Now we're going to get ready to pull in our third place finisher, 51 ride, David Duran Jr. David coming home in position number 3. A very good run, a solid performance out of him all evening long. He was in the Discord. I do not see him in the Discord any longer, so I don't know where he has disappeared to. I don't see him in the general voice chat. Yes, I do. He does have it up on there, so we're gonna have to drag him out of there quickly here. See if we can drag him out. See if we can drag him out of there, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, David, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
I do.
David, man, a very good run, a very solid performance for you all evening long after winning stage number 2 and then trying to play some strategy late in this race. Obviously staying out a little bit longer than everybody else, having that extra fuel in your back pocket to be able to make it to the end of this one. And I think the last thing you and Chris Muse wanted to see there was that caution flag, because you guys had a huge lead between yourselves and Austin Smith. He was the first car with those fresher tires trying to track you guys back down, and then caution flag comes out, a little contact between yourself and the 52 ride, and the caution flag being displayed, it brings the field all back together here. It makes for some interesting runs to the finish, as we saw multiple attempts at NASCAR overtime here on the night. But take us back. What's going through your mind there as you're running that strategy, hoping to see that green flag stay out for the rest of this race, and then all of a sudden that caution flag comes back out. The rest of the field rolls back up to your rear bumper, and obviously maybe not having that extra set of tires, you stay out there on the racetrack and trap a lot of these guys a lap down or multiple laps down back there behind you. But then it's a battle. You've got your hands full. You got Austin Smith, Chris Muse, and a few more of those guys jumping into the battle here late in this race to try to take the win away from you. And unfortunately, Smith there on that final green-white checkered was able to get around you, and same with Chris Muse here late in this race.
I felt like the strategy played out really, really good. I had maybe an extra 5 or 6 laps of fuel, even before the yellows that were out. So I mean, the last thing myself and Muse wanted to see was the yellow, because I think he was a little bit lower on fuel than I was. We pitted through at the same time, so I think he pushed a little bit early to try to maybe gain some time on everyone else that pitted. I was upset that the yellow came out. I'm not sure. I need to go back at the replay, but that I held my line, and the 52 just came in there and kind of like dove bomb. So I mean, I need to go back and look at it. I'm trying to save fuel, which, like I said, enough fuel to go the distance, running 40 some on laps on the tank. So I said try to do a different strategy than everybody else. Taking the risk on taking a set of tires the second stage really paid off to at least get some extra points. So they get a podium out of it. It's really good, but I think I wanted to win more. But especially the track that I'm not really great at, but I mean, I'll take it there nonetheless. Just wish those yellows didn't come out at the end.
Absolutely. Those yellow flags didn't come out late in this race. Could have been a completely different story. You might have been able to stay on cruise control, save that fuel, and drive that 51 ride up and into victory lane here at Nashville Superspeedway. Unfortunately, not the way things played out as the caution flags come out, and obviously a tall task to try to hold off some of those fresher tires with Chris Muse and Austin Smith right there behind you, but you're able to do it for a couple of those restarts, able to get those other caution flags and make it a green-white checkered, and you have a golden opportunity late in this one if we were to see one more caution flag before, down the back straightaway, the 23 ride making that pass on you. If we saw that caution flag come out one more time down through 1 and 2 on that final restart, would have ended this race under the caution flag with only 2 attempts at NASCAR overtime. So you're right there. You're within distance and within a little bit of extra luck to maybe be able to get this win handed to you with the yellow flag coming out late in this race again. But unfortunately, just does not fall that way for you here in this one.
Yeah, it is what it is. Just taking a chance on doing something different from everyone else. So it still paid off because still get a top 5 out of it's really good. So it's a good points day. Regardless, so we'll close this one and move on to next week.
Absolutely, that's all you can do, and absolutely still a good day. Lots of points, obviously picking up stage win number 2, and then pulling it up here onto the podium to finish off the evening is still a good night at the racetrack. David, congratulations on the 3rd place run, but who would you like to thank here for a solid run, solid performance, and a lot of laps led here tonight at Nashville Superspeedway?
I just think for your broadcasting, you do a great job each and every week for this league. So I appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. Just thank Radius Racing for letting me be a part of their team. Even though it's just me for right now, so I'm hoping to get a few extra guys. But I like to be competitive, so just trying to thank everyone that I've been racing with. So good cleat racing today for the most part. So like I said, we'll close this one and move on to next week.
Absolutely, brother. We look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth once the dust settles next Sunday, and maybe find yourself right back up here, in victory lane and in the broadcast booth first next time.
I hope so. Thank you.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Congratulations again on the 3rd place run.
All right. Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our 3rd place finisher, David Durand Jr. Is David coming home here in position number 3. A huge shout out there to him coming home with a solid run here this evening. But it's all Austin Smith as Smith picks up the win and pulls the 23 right up and into victory lane. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for all these drivers, man. Put on a heck of a show, a heck of a race for us, right from the drop of the green flag down to that checkered flag here on the evening, giving us something amazing to watch here on this wonderful Sunday afternoon. And I cannot thank you guys all enough for tuning in and showing the love here in this one. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares, any of the new followers, any of the new subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you and welcome you to the Peacemaker family. And if you guys haven't already, it's not too late. Hit that like button. Hit that share button, hit that follow and or subscribe button right now. Become part of the Peacemaker family, become part of the Peacemaker crew here today, where you will never miss any of the amazing racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming. Unfortunately, though, that is going to do it for us here in this one, as we will be back live in about 25 minutes from now, as we got a second broadcast to produce here this afternoon. We will head back to the dirt track as the Sling and Dirt Series will go back to battle here for their next race on the dirt track. So super late models coming up next. You guys do not want to miss out on that fantastic racing action. So make sure you turn the bell notification on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. But thank y'all for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.